everyone, it's Margaret Wallis Duffy, and I'm super excited to be coming to you today on PHAM's Healthy Baby and Children's Day. Why is this day so special to me as a registered massage therapist? Well, I have had many years of experience as an internationally certified infant massage instructor. I've completed not one, but 2 research workshops at the Jackson Medical Center at the University of Miami. I've had the privilege of doing work at Sick Children's Hospital and also taking an extensive course on children with special needs at CHEO's Hospital in Ottawa. And over the course of my career, I've had the privilege of treating thousands of babies, being referred by doctors and pediatricians alike. And what I love most about the baby massage program is that I get to show you, everyday parents, what you can be doing with the power of touch to have an impact on the growth and the health and well-being of your babies. And I got to tell you, I've got so many stories I can share over the course of my career with the impact of the power of touch. It grows with your baby. Baby massage is a bit of a misnomer because, in fact, it grows with us. Babies, failure to thrive is something that happens when touch isn't received. It's cool to not only witness firsthand, but to see the research that has been done extensively on what baby massage can do for things like gas and colic and teething, improving weight gain, babies that are premature and are massaged on a regular basis in the NICU, gain weight quicker and are released from hospital 6 days earlier than their counterparts that don't receive massage. It can have an impact on teething, as I mentioned, and I'd like to show you something today to do that. It's incredible for bonding, whether it be between parent and child, siblings, sibling rivalry. I've seen toddlers, be jealous of their newborn baby sister or brother, but then come and do baby massage with me and show them and empower them to show their love through touch to their sibling. And all of a sudden, that dynamic and that bond changes. Touch is a remarkable thing, and it starts from in utero and every day after. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to come to you today to do a little bit of sort of the benefits of baby massage and then actually stock your parenting toolbox so that you can get into the driver's seat when it comes to the health of your babies and improve their health and well-being. Giving baby massage from the early days also helps to improve their body awareness so that they know it's the first language, actually, that babies have, that children have. Touch really helps to facilitate babies understanding what's going on in their bodies so that they can communicate later when they actually have the language to speak. It is a remarkable thing right here at our fingertips, and I thought today it would be kind of fun to come to you and show you some of the basic things that you can do at home, or seeing a registered massage therapist like me who's been certified with infants, has years of experience so that I can help you also help your babies at home. So what are some of the things to think about? Well, first of all, understanding babies' body language is so important. Before they can actually speak, their body tells the tale. Whether you're whether you're treating a baby here in Canada or whether you're somewhere else in the world, children and the neurological system are wired such that they communicate similarly. So there's really 3 types of cues: engagement cues, disengagement cues, and then overstimulation cues that often parents don't recognize until it's too late. So let's talk about engagement cues. So what are they? Well, there's different ways that babies communicate that they're ready to interact with you. They're ready to engage, that they're neurologically happy and sound and happy with their environment. So they're ready to engage and receive touch. Some of the things that you might recognize, like they're smiling, their head's in neutral position, the sounds that they make. Pay attention to those sounds. A cooing, rhythmical sound. That very rhythmical sound is a sign of an engaged and neurologically happy baby. Movements are often very synchronized. Have you ever gone in to get your little one out of the crib in the morning and their little feet are in the air saying, "Good morning, mommy," and their movements are in a synchronized pattern. That is often a sign of a happy, engaged, neurologically sound baby. However, for any myriad of reasons, maybe they're overtired, maybe they're hungry, maybe they've got gas, maybe they're overstimulated, those engagement cues can change to disengagement cues, and sometimes they're subtle. So for example, that smile that was bright on the baby's face may start to turn and they'll have a little bit of a scowl. The head that was in neutral position starts to move away from midline, as if to say, had enough of you. The movements that were synchronized start to go out of sync, and as if to say, I'm not happy here. I don't love what's happening here. Arching of the back is a big sign of disengagement. It's also a sign of gas. And if you've got a colicky baby, you've witnessed that firsthand. That beautiful rhythmical sound of their voice starts to become more staccato, trying to let you know that they're not happy. And often we miss those cues and we don't pay attention. And that can lead to things like overstimulation. And overstimulation, you see lots of different things. But for example, yes, babies get hiccups. It happens. But pay attention to when your baby gets hiccups. If you're at a family function and the baby's being passed from grandma to grandpa to aunt to uncle, and you start to see the arms going out of sync and the arching of the back and the head turning away from neutral position and the staccato sound, and then they start to get the hiccups or this fake Academy Award-winning cough. Everybody turns and looks, is the baby okay? It got your attention, didn't it? Well, that's what the neurological system was designed to do. So babies, before they can actually speak, their body language tells us a lot. However, as parents, we sometimes miss those cues because we have to learn as well. So the reason I'm giving you these engagement, disengagement, and overstimulation cues is so that you can be aware and witness that and perhaps change the environment and intervene before the baby gets to that overstimulated situation where then you're the one going home after the party, walking the floors until 3 a.m. while everyone else is snug as a bug in a rug at home. It's also important when we're talking about implementing a baby massage program because we want to give, and this is really important, we want to give massage with our baby, not to our baby. There's a distinct difference there, isn't there? Even though your baby can't speak, being aware of their body language and responding to it, not only does it help for you to have better outcomes when it comes to the massage, but it also builds trust with your baby. Massage is a bit of a dance because you may start to massage them, then they'll start to disengage, and then I want you to pick the baby up and comfort them, and then go back and try again. Now, this can be frustrating as a parent because you may have right now, in between everything else you have to do as a new parent, to deal with that gassy baby. But if the baby is not ready to receive the massage and you just push through it, not only could you cause more, hyperstimulation and it be counterproductive, but you're also showing them that you're not honoring them when it comes to them communicating about touch. And the one thing we want to make sure that we do is that touch is a positive therapeutic thing for your child. And you want them to be in control of who touches them, how they're being touched, and when they're being touched. And this is a very powerful safety tool when we look at toddlers and children later, because they recognize when touch is positive or negative. And I know as parents, we don't want to think about that. But it starts when they're little. So when we talk about baby massage, we want 3 strikes and you're out, mom and dad. If you go to do the massage right now and the baby disengages and you stop and you comfort them, but then you try again and they disengage a second time. If you go the 3rd time to try to do this and they're still not having it, stop and try later. Did you know as little as 5 minutes of massage a day has been shown through research to improve not only the neurological benefits of massage, but weight gain and overall growth and development of your child? It can be cumulative. And touch is something that Not every baby, just like adults, some are very touch sensitive, others love touch. But if done respectfully, therapeutically, and with your child, not to your child, you can build that touch tolerance. You can improve their body awareness. You can improve their neurological system, and you can calm their autonomic nervous system and decrease those cortisol levels in your baby so you can improve sleep and get better outcomes with other things like what we're going to talk about here in a moment, like gas and colic and teething and other things. So 3 strikes, you're out. Pay attention to your baby's body language and honor it. And what time of day is best to massage? This is a question I get asked all the time. Well, the one thing I know about parenting is that it's unpredictable. So what's good today for your baby may not be good tomorrow. So pay attention to their cues. You want to give massage to your baby when they're in a quiet, alert state. So you may not want to be doing this when they're really tired and cranky because it might just make them overstimulated and not very happy. But if you do this as part of a regular routine, maybe it's part of your bedtime routine, or maybe it's just doing a couple of minutes of massage every time you change their diaper, so that over the course of the day, you're down regulating their nervous system. You're creating that bond, and you're really helping to increase their circulation and calm the baby. You'll be surprised that in no time, what they only tolerated for 5 minutes, you'll find all of a sudden they're ready to lie there for a half an hour for you to give them a full body massage. I've seen it time and time again. So what do we use to massage our babies? Now, this is something that I really want you to pay attention to. Read your labels. You want to use a cold pressed, non-nut-based, non-mineral oil to treat your baby. Now, for the longest time, I suggested, something like olive oil. But a lot of parents were like, but that's what I cook my chicken with that night. I don't want to use olive oil. So a very long time ago, I created my own baby massage oil, this Wallis baby massage oil that's has no mineral oil, no nut-based, because some babies have nut allergies and we don't want to introduce nuts when they're very young, especially when we're massaging it all over their entire body. Remember, our skin is our biggest organ and it can be absorbed. We also don't want to be using a lot of perfumes and scents because babies can be very sensitive to it. But what we can use is true essential oils that are not toxic. And lavender, the true essential oil of lavender, can be amazing to help calm the nervous system. It's great for relaxation and sleep. Smells nice. And so an oil like this, or an oil that's a non-nut based with a couple of drops of essential oil in it, can be a great way to give massage to your baby. And if you want more information about baby oil and baby massage, you want to be careful with using creams, especially if you're putting it on their hands and feet and they put them in their mouth. It needs to be something that's edible and safe. And certainly mineral oil, which is a gasoline byproduct, is not. So read your labels. Just because it says baby on it, it might look pretty. Be an informed parent and read your labels. So now we know when to massage when the baby's in a quiet, alert state. We know to look for baby cues and to give massage with your baby, not to your baby. And we know what to use or what not to use. Now let's talk about what we can do. So I'm just going to give you, now the baby massage program does all aspects of the body. And I actually teach workshops that are 2 to 3 hours long. Now we don't do it all at once because that's too much for babies to tolerate. But we break it up into smaller sections so we can stock your parenting toolbox so that you can, get started and then to integrate it into your daily routine. But what I thought I would do today is just show you a couple of things to do on the legs. I'm going to show you 1 or 2 things to do on the tummy for gas. I'm going to talk a little bit about teething. And then if you want more information about all kinds of other things, how to burp your baby, talking about sleep, sinus issues, I got to tell you, there's so many things that we can do naturally to help our babies through the power of touch. And I'd love to be able to do that for you. I'd be more than happy to host a workshop, whether it be virtual or whether it be face-to-face with one of your mom and baby groups. So let's get started. Before we jump into the tummy, it's always good to do something on the legs, which is a larger surface area. It's a great way to introduce your touch. It often calms them. It feels really good. And it's a great thing to do as part of your bedtime routine. So what you're going to do, actually, taking your hand, thumb underneath, fingers on top, and something to consider. You want to use your strokes that are slow and rhythmical. Really fast can stimulate the baby's nervous system, and that's not what we want to go for. We want to be slow and rhythmical and pay attention to your baby's signs. So thumb underneath, fingers on top, starting up at the hip, and with a firm rhythmical stroke from the hip to the ankle. This is called Indian milking, like so. Slow, firm, and rhythmical. And if they tolerate, you can do 2 or 3 repetitions of Indian milking. The next one we're going to do is called squeeze and twist. Now, squeeze and twist is great for neurological development because it stimulates both sides of the brain at the same time, which is great. Because the other thing that baby massage does is it helps with proprioception and neurological development. So it actually, babies that are massaged on a regular basis tend to walk earlier, tend to crawl earlier, and they score higher on EPCAR testing from the time they were born up to 1 year later. So it's a really powerful tool to be using, not only to make your baby feel good and to have a wonderful bonding time as a parent with your child, but it's good for their development. So squeeze and twist looks like this. Once again, thumb underneath, fingers on top, squeeze and twist and twist and twist. Never twist around a joint, so come below the knee, squeeze and twist and twist, squeeze and twist and twist. Firm, gentle, and rhythmical. So that's Indian milking and squeeze and twist. Now, the bottom of those gorgeous little feet, there are lots of reflexes that correspond to the rest of the body, just like they do in adults. And you're going to use the pads of your thumbs, mums and dads, and you're going to stroke from the heel up towards the toe, alternating like so. And it's fun to incorporate sound and music because when we stimulate all senses of the body, it improves development, and we can sing. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish. Have some fun with it. This is supposed to be a fun and relaxing time with your baby. Now, there are many more things we can do on the legs, but for sake of time, we're going to move on to the tummy because this is by far one of the most common referrals I get from doctors, pediatricians, and parents alike whose babies are struggling with gas and colic. It's robbing you of sleep. And nobody in the family is happy when a baby's digestive system isn't working well. So one of the things that I love about baby massage is that mechanically we can help to move gas and fecal matter through the intestine to improve digestion, increase weight gain. And did you know, just like in adults, that our hormones for our mental health, the brain and the gut are connected. So even as babies, our mood is impacted also by the health of our gut. And therefore, doing this on the baby's tummy on a regular basis to prevent the buildup of gas, so you can prevent colic, it's Preventative Health Awareness Month after all, can be a game changer when it comes to your parenting toolbox. It's also really, really helpful when you're transitioning to solids or introducing new foods. The week before you're going to start a food, you're going to start to do abdominal massage on a daily basis. Now, this doesn't have to take a lot of time. You can do a few strokes at each diaper change to get the peristaltic movement. Let's talk about that. Inside the intestine, the large intestine, there are little cilia, little hair-like projections called cilia. And they're designed to move in a wave-like pattern to help coerce through gas and fecal matter through the intestine. Now, the way that works in the intestine, it goes in clockwise direction. So if you're looking at your baby, if you remember anything from what I'm teaching you today, you must always, always, always go in clockwise direction. What direction? Yes, clockwise, because that's the way the bowel functions. And if we go the opposite direction, not in clockwise direction, but the opposite, counterclockwise, you can back gas up. And if you thought you had a cranky baby before, you're going to have an even crankier one now. So if you're looking at your baby, you're always going to want to go in clockwise direction. Another thing to think about when we're talking about baby massage and doing work on the abdomen for gas and colic. You want to wait up to about a half an hour after you've fed the baby, because you don't want to be putting pressure on the abdomen and having the baby throw up the nutrients that perhaps you just put in. So when you can, wait up to about a half an hour. Now, parenting, there's always rules meant to be broken. And when I've worked with babies that have severe gas and colic, preterm babies, for example, or babies that really have a sluggish digestive system for all kinds of reasons, sometimes we have to break that rule. The reason we want to do this when a baby is in a quiet, alert state and not screaming with gas pain or right after feeds is because they'll ingest more air, contribute to more gas, and it's counterproductive. But sometimes if a baby's crying 18 hours a day, and I've seen that happen with a severe colicky baby, the baby's either sleeping or screaming. And so we have to kind of work with the parent on that. And sometimes we have to actually do a little bit of work while they're crying. If they'll take a soother, have a soother handy. Because here's a really good tip. When a baby is sucking, not only does it calm the autonomic nervous system and put them into parasympathetics, the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest and digest. It helps to improve digestion. It also will prevent them from sucking in more air that contributes to gas. So have a soother or a chooch or whatever you call it handy. So when you're giving massage, they can suck on the soother and you can do the abdominal massage. Wait up to about a half an hour after feed if possible. And here's the tough part, mums and dads. Here's how I want you to be therapeutically effective. And this often takes a little bit of coaching on my part as a therapist to show you that of course, my biggest goal is to have you get outcomes, to do it safely. But in order to get gas out, we can't just stroke the abdomen lightly like this. The bowel doesn't sit at the skin surface. So here's what you need to look for. You need to see an indentation in the baby's belly. Often with that pressure or indentation, you're going to see a blanching or whitening of the skin, or sometimes a redness in the skin showing circulation. But the best way to know that you've engaged the belly enough is the baby will give you what's called a bearing down reflex. So when we push in, they'll do this. And sometimes we hear it, and their face, you can see it. That's when we know we've engaged that abdomen. And sometimes when we do that right away, you will hear music to your ears because the gas will release immediately. So wait up to a half an hour after a feed. Try to have a soother handy. Do not do it when the baby is screaming because they'll ingest more air. Try to do it when they're in a quiet, alert state. Preventatively, do it every diaper change. I'm going to show you 2 strokes today, one called water wheel and one called sun and moon. And you're going to do that at every diaper change to get that peristaltic movement working, to keep moving the gas through, to prevent the colicky episode that often rears its head at night. So often you will hear parents say, I could set my watch at 7 o'clock. The baby starts screaming and they're screaming till midnight. Walking the floors with a screaming baby is a challenge for new parents. It's exhausting. But what if I could put tools into your hands, literally, and show you how you can use the baby massage program like I've shown thousands of patients over my career. Thousands of parents, how to do this so that you can move that gas, you can get rid of the gas, and you're going to get some sleep, and so is the baby. All right? So the other thing to remember when working on the baby's tummy, so we want to see that indentation, that blanching or reddening of the skin. We must always, always, always go in clockwise direction because that's the way the bowel functions. And you're going to need to stop and start, because if the baby starts to disengage and start to cry, you want to stop, comfort them, and then go back again. Okay, so the first stroke I'm going to show you in the air is called water wheel. And the area of focus that we're doing, mums and dads, is belly button and below. Now that's a little small area. So if you've got your baby, the belly button here, you're going to want to move the diaper down so you've got room in the pelvis, but you don't want to be up here because that's not where the bowel's functioning. The bowel doesn't sit up here in the chest, so you got to stay low. So if you think in your mind, belly button and down, it's not that you can't go just above the belly button, but I want your focus to be belly and below, belly button and below, so that you'll be effective, and you're going to be thanking me for it later. So the first one's called water wheel. Picture sitting on a beach, stroking sand towards you in a almost like a J formation, firmly, remember indentation, 2 paddles equals 1 stroke. So it looks like this. Water wheel, water wheel, water wheel. Now I'm going to show you on the baby. I'm hoping you can see it on the camera here. Maybe I'll do it this way. Water wheel, water wheel, water wheel. Firmly, indentation in the baby's belly, blanching of the skin, 2 paddles is 1 stroke. If you can get 3 repetitions of water wheel at every diaper change so that you can prevent that backup of gas all day long, because that peristaltic movement in babies often is sluggish. So we feed them all day long and that peristaltic movement is sluggish. And so by the end of the day, the gas is backed up and they can't move it. And if you've ever had colic or gas pain, it is not pleasant. And therefore, you get a baby that's screaming. And then when they're screaming, they don't want to eat. And then they're hungry. And then it's this vicious cycle. So prevention is critically important. Now, the next one's called sun and moon. Must always go in clockwise direction. And I'm going to show you in the air first. You're going to take your left hand in clockwise direction, and it's reversed in the camera. So remember, if you're looking at your baby, you're always going in clockwise direction. But when I'm doing it in the air, it's going to look opposite on camera. So clockwise direction, picture a clock with the 12 at the top of the clock. You're going to firmly circle in clockwise direction. Then you're going to take your right hand and picture that clock from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You're going to draw a half moon. Why? Because that's where the descending colon is. Let me stand up and show you on me. Ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon into the rectum where the baby can get rid of gas and fecal matter. So what the big stroke does, the sun does, it starts to move the gas through the intestine, and this half moon is a reinforcement stroke to push gas into the descending colon, into the rectum where the baby can get rid of gas and fecal matter. Now here's the challenging part. Just like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time, it takes practice, but trust me, you can do this. You're going to put these 2 strokes together. So sun, half moon, sun, half moon, sun, half moon. On the baby, clockwise direction, sun, half moon, sun, half moon, sun, half moon, and stop. Let them catch up, give them a soother, calm them, and do it again. So those are 2 very powerful supported and research techniques that are a game changer for gas and colic. But I love to layer tools. So I thought I would bring on one of my go-to homeopathic medicines that I've been recommending for patients for like 30 years. Cosental by Boron Laboratories, the world leaders in homeopathy. This is a game changer. Not only do parents report that it helps with gas for their babies, but the babies love to take it. You literally squeeze it into their mouth when they have a symptom. Within 15 to 20 minutes, if the symptoms continue, give another. But in combination with massage, it is unbelievably effective. So there's a little tip. The other thing that I love to show is another tool that is more new, actually, called the Calmi. And this device, which has different attachments, you can see the nubs on this, which can be great for different things. And this one is, I don't know if you can see in the camera, it's great for the scalp, cradle cap. This one you can do is very specific areas. This nub can be great on the teeth. But this actually has some low intensity vibration and percussion. Using this, there's different settings. You literally just turn it on and it starts to vibrate. You can see the light. And then actually doing the stroke that I told you, down the tummy with the vibration. When we do vibration, it helps to calm the central nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. In particular, when we do it on the tailbone, that is where the parasympathetic nerve fibers exit the spine, there and on the neck, which is another great tip for calming a baby when they're screaming or when they're overtired. It's a great way to calm them. But the vibration is also great to do sun and moon. And you can actually just up the ascending colon, cross the transverse colon, and then down the descending colon. Remember, always in clockwise direction. Across the vibration. Babies love this. And what I love about this is that you can purchase this and be using it at home. The nubs on the other end are also incredible for teething. And I'm about now to talk about teething. Did you know that massage can be very, very helpful as well for teething? What I want to show you is to actually, well, let's talk about some signs and symptoms first of teething. So every baby's different, and when they start teething can be different. So signs and symptoms of teething can last months, or some babies wake up with a mouthful of teeth and the parent is surprised that they even had the teeth to begin with. My children, I had to fight for every single tooth in their head, and it can be really challenging. So nighttime wakefulness, pulling at the ears, where people think, parents have said to me, I think they've got an earache. They're batting or pulling at their ears. It's actually pain in the TMJ and causing the baby to think that they have ear pain, but it's actually the teeth. Rosy cheeks, all kinds of drooling. A low-grade fever is not unusual, although you never fool around with a fever. If your baby has a fever for more than a day or so, you want to check with your physician or nurse practitioner. But because of the low inflammation that happens with teething, you can get a little bit of a fever. Everything to the mouth, they want to put everything in the mouth, but here's the problem. Teething rings can be really challenging. This a baby actually can hold, and that vibration, putting it in their mouth, can be so incredibly soothing. But so can massage. And here's what I suggest you to do. You're going to take a baby washcloth that you've been given many, and you're going to dump it in water and wring it out. You're then going to put it around your finger like so, and you're going to put it in the freezer in a Ziploc bag. And before you want to use it, take it out and let it just rest for a bit so you're not getting any jagged edges, because you don't want to cut the gums, because we're actually going to do some intraoral massage. Now, in order for the tooth to erupt through the gum line of your baby, it's remarkable, and a dentist told me this one time, that the necessary pressure for a tooth to erupt through the gum line is equivalent to that necessary to crack a chestnut. It's significant. And that's why it's amazing that some babies don't have any pain at all and others really suffer. But if we use this as now a semi-frozen massage tool, and we go inside the baby's mouth, and if this is the gum line on the inside of the baby's mouth, and often the teeth come in at the front first, but what you want to do, because it acts almost like a boomerang, the lower mandible and the upper mandible, the pain can reverberate, and it really can be, if you've had a toothache, it's not pleasant. So you're going to go inside your baby's mouth with this semi-frozen washcloth, and you're going to firmly massage on the top, the sides, and the back of the gum line, all across the lower mandible and the upper mandible. The massage helps with pain. The cold helps with inflammation present from teething. It's relieving, and it actually tricks, it's called the gate control theory of pain. The firm pressure overrides the pain signal that the brain has of the tooth erupting by a pleasurable signal, and therefore the baby doesn't feel as much pain. You can do the same on the outside, so the ear, right in front of the ear, that spot right here, these muscles of mastication right here, we're going to firmly massage in this area. Now, if you had the kami and the vibration, and you used this head on it, for example, you just literally pop this off, And I'll be sure to put a link for the Kami in, or if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then with the vibration on, you're going to right here along the side of the jaw, and then of course allow them to use this to gnaw on. Game changer to help with teething. And just like colic, we want to layer our tools. Parents sing the praises of Corazalia. Oh, not Corazalia. They like Corazalia as well for colds, but Camellia for teething. Unbelievably effective. Unbelievably effective. So similarly, you're going to squeeze this into your baby's mouth. And if you know they tend to be worse in the evening, which is common, give it to them before they have that symptom. And do the massage, and you're going to notice a difference. So I think that's all we'll do for today for baby massage. But if you'd like more information, or perhaps you want to host a virtual or a face-to-face workshop in the Greater Toronto area, or we can always do it virtually, I would love to help you. Baby massage is something I'm extremely passionate about. And this is just a tip of the iceberg of all the things that I have to share. So happy, healthy baby and children. And by the way, this grows with your children. You know, toddlers will love it for growing pains, for helping with sleep, for helping with body awareness, for anxiety in children. Massage is incredible for children and toddlers and preschoolers. It is a remarkable way to bond with your children. It's a remarkable way for them to understand their bodies better. It's really important. When you're giving massage on a regular basis, they start to be more aware of their body, and then they can communicate, Mommy, this is bothering me, or this is hurting, because they are paying attention and they're living inside their body. Touch is so powerful. And baby massage, when you can start right from when they're newborn and continue to massage your babies like I do for my 28-year-old and 22-year-old. It is an incredible gift you can give your family, an amazing bond, but more importantly, it is a health and wellness and neurologically sound thing you can do to improve the health and well-being of your babies. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And remember, a healthy tomorrow begins with prevention today. These babies are our future, and you certainly want to give them a good chance. And the power of touch to increase their circulation, to reduce their stress, has never been more important than to start early so that they will live a lifetime of healthy living. See you all soon.